far away in the distant land of Hobbit Shire, there lives a hobbit in a real hobbit's house. And this is it. Ah, we were kidding. It's across the road, isn't it? Hey, I'm Joe, and this is the tour of the Hobbit House. And of course, as you can see, that's not a real hobbit, it's an archaeologist and his dog. I thought it might be quite fun to have this sort of very unconventional house for this character that I created, and this is it. Over the years, I've seen quite a few attempts at creating a proper hobbit hovel, so to speak, but none have ever been particularly successful. Of course, in Sims 4, we got the challenge of not being able to change the terrain. Everything's flat. So how do you create a hill? Well, if you really want to, you can use roofs, and this is what I've done. These roofs have been textured with lawn textures, and then a whole lot of roofs have been combined to create this effect. At first I thought that this house actually wouldn't be very playable because of all the roofs and the inaccessible areas, and of course all the plants. And I was adding plants and merrily adding more, and then adding some more, and then I said, you've got to stop. You've got to stop because you can't play the house that way because you've got all these floating plants. So that's where I stopped. You can only really build this house by using the move objects cheat enabled, because when it comes to a roof, the only baseline is the floor. So all objects and anything that you place in that region will automatically snap to the floor. So you've got to raise them up above the roof line. This is the lower basement. Well, actually, the basement. There is no lower basement in this house other than the swimming pool. The textures in the basement are actually a floor tile based on the new set that I've been creating. That's got 3 different types of grass textures, and I've used them as terrain paint, which you can see here, as floor tiles, so that you can use them indoors and in basements, which kind of strangely you cannot use terrain paint on. And then, of course, the roofs. This is a special roof texture that has no eaves and is pretty seamless, unless you look at it from quite far away, then you begin to pick up the repeating pattern. This lawn on the ground is actually a variation on one of the themes, which is the groomed grass look. Anyway, moving along, the house is filled with rocks, so a lot of the house is inaccessible to the Sims, but the look of this house is really what we're going for. And this is actually a series of roofs that interconnect to create a hill. Sadly, the Sims cannot actually go up the hill, so it's just there for show. It also poses several issues, is that when you have the walls down, especially in build mode, you cannot see the walls, and even if you have drop away mode, the roofs pop up, often blocking your path. And there's the flower arrangement on the roof. This is why I stopped adding more flowers to the grassy hill that's supposed to be above. I wasn't actually going to do an interior because I really felt that this house just would not be playable. But I was surprised to find that it actually is playable, and it's actually quite fun. This is the lower basement, including the outdoors area, and the bedroom, and of course the bathroom, and a nice walk-in wardrobe. Every hobbit needs to have a walk-in wardrobe. I tried to keep the interiors as hobbity as possible, but there isn't really any kind of sort of hobbit decor, so a lot of the stuff was kind of castle-like medieval sort of furniture, which would go with the period. Of course, there are no real showers for the medieval times, so we had to use the modern one there. Those candles were rather tricky to place. I had to move the fireplace out of the way, put the candles in place, and then put the fireplace back. I quite like this tree wallpaper, and I'm using it more and more. I probably should stop that, but it seemed to go with the theme. And there you have it. Gosh, those tiles are cracked. Somebody should repair them, shouldn't they? I also couldn't find a rug for this room. Here's a view of the roof, and you can actually see the various planes. There's actually a whole lot of different roofs all connected into each other, creating valleys and ridges and so forth. You can actually see this much better on the build. By the time I'd finished the house, there was actually so much landscaping involved that it actually lost some of the look of the sloping hills, which I suppose works, but it doesn't really demonstrate how effectively the roofs created a hill-like look. I figured since that the Sims cannot actually use or walk on the rear side, I decided to really build it up and create a real hill out of it. I'm sure a hobbit would find this a fitting home. This little fountain was quite fun, but I discovered that the ring, Lord of the Rings, it glitched quite a bit. It's a lot more than in the movie, so I had to move it and reposition it so it doesn't quite look like a ring, but that was the only position I could find. It doesn't create quite as many glitches, and there you see it actually goes slightly transparent. The joys of using the move objects cheat on. Quite a lovely house. I must confess that I actually tend to play this a little bit more. This would appeal to sort of the fantasy role-playing type of people. Anyway, here are some screenshots of the house showing the plans at various stages, with the bits and bobs growing on the roof, the downstairs area, and there you have the hovering flower arrangements. If this is your first time on the channel, do remember to subscribe and to turn on notifications from the bell icon, as I will be releasing this house and the textures that go with it. So if you turn on notifications, you'll be notified once they are available. Thanks so much for watching this video, and have a wonderful day.